Born in poverty, surrounded by doubt, but his dream was bigger than his situation.
He was born in a small village where houses were made of mud and roads were broken. People there worked hard every day, but life was still difficult. Dreaming big was something most people didn't even try to do. But this little boy was different. He was born poor, but he dreamed big.
His name was Adil. His father was a daily laborer who worked long hours under the hot sun. Some days he earned enough to buy food. Some days he didn't. His mother tried her best to manage the home, often hiding her tears so her son would not feel sad. Adil understood more than they thought. He knew they were struggling.
Even as a child, Adil loved to look at the sky. He would sit quietly and imagine a different life. He would whisper to himself, "One day I will become successful. One day I will change everything." When he told others about his dreams, they laughed. They said, "Look at your situation first. Big dreams are not for people like us." But Adil never stopped believing.
Going to school was not easy. He had old books, torn shoes, and sometimes no lunch. Some classmates made fun of him. They called him the dreamer. It hurt him, but he stayed silent. Deep inside, he promised himself that one day he would answer them with success, not words.
At night, when the whole village was asleep, Adil studied under a weak light bulb. When there was no electricity, he used a candle. And when there was no candle, he sat under the moonlight and repeated his lessons from memory. He believed education was the only way to change his life. One day, the school announced a big speech competition in the city. The winner would receive a full scholarship to study in a top college. Adil's heart started beating fast. This was his chance. But he was scared, too. Students from big, rich schools would compete. They had better training, better clothes, and more confidence. Still, Adil decided to try. Every night he practiced his speech in front of a broken mirror. He worked on his words again and again. Instead of hiding his poverty, he chose to speak about it. He turned his pain into power. The day of the competition arrived. The hall was large and bright. Students wore neat uniforms and looked confident. Adil felt nervous. His hands were shaking when his name was called. For a moment, he closed his eyes and said to himself, "I will not give up." He stepped onto the stage and began to speak. He talked about his parents' hard work. He talked about studying without light. He talked about hunger, hope, and dreams. His voice was not perfect, but it was real. It came from his heart. The hall became silent. Everyone was listening carefully. When he finished, there was a short pause. Then the room filled with loud applause. Finally, the results were announced. The first prize and full scholarship goes to Adil! For a second, he could not believe it. Tears filled his eyes. He remembered the broken shoes, the dark nights, and the people who laughed at him. He had done it. He proved that your starting point does not decide your future. Years later, Adil became a successful man, but he never forgot his village. He returned and built a small school for poor children. He told them, "I was just like you. I had nothing but a dream. If I can do it, you can too." He was born poor, but he dreamed big. And because he refused to give up, he changed his life forever.
When life tries to break you, remember, maybe it is trying to make you stronger. Being poor is not a failure. Giving up is. If your situation is against you, it doesn't mean your story is over. It means your real journey has just begun. Keep your dreams alive, even if the whole world doubts you. One day, the same world will talk about your success. Never give up, because miracles happen to those who refuse to quit.